Compost programs come in all shapes and sizes. If you work in an office like this one, you might have a kitchenette, a bit like the one we're entering now. And your kitchenette may have a place where you can put some compost, something like this. Maybe room for an apple peel or a banana peel. And if you live in an Ottawa neighborhood, something like this, you probably have a big green wheelie bin that you bring to the curb. But what do you do if you live in the country and the houses are a little farther apart from each other and it just doesn't make environmental sense to send a truck around for a few hundred scraps of potato peels and onion skins? What do you do then? Here in Almonte, the man behind Just Good Compost says his little bucket is a big part of his success.
I don't think you could have planned it, right? So we've come up with a better system, a better mousetrap. So one of the problems in Ottawa, for example, is they have these compost bins, but only 50% of the population actually use them. There's two reasons. One, they're really cumbersome and they're large and they have to be stored. And the second, you can't wash them properly, right? So you can't reach the bottom of the bin and they get maggots and it smell and it's really gross. So with our little bucket system, the scraps are only in there for a week. They don't have enough time to start smelling. We switch it out for a clean one every week. So there's no washing, no hassle.
So the small bucket is part of the equation, but it's only a small part of the story.
It was entirely by mistake that this entire project got started.
William Affleck is a doctor of psychiatry. While studying in Montreal, the idea fell into his lap.
There was a neighbor of mine, a little hippie guy, who had a plastic bucket on the back of his bicycle and was driving around picking up people's kitchen scraps, going back to his backyard, turning it into compost for them, and giving it back to them for their gardens.
To the psychiatrist with years of experience helping people with mental illness, the plastic pail operation had the power to give people purpose.
One of the things that happens with mentally ill people, or people who become mentally ill, is they become self-isolated, right? So their life gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and they tend to get trapped in their basements.
When he moved back home to Almonte and discovered no compost program in town, he adopted the model. Just Good Compost has now signed up not only hundreds of residential customers willing to pay to keep their onion skins and eggshells out of landfills, but he went further, signing up businesses and commercial kitchens.
Restaurants don't have a composting option, and turns out I didn't realize how much that was bothering restaurateurs, who, the pang of guilt of throwing that much waste into the garbage is a real something.
Restaurateurs like Gwen Nealon at Tea and Cake.
It's really just my own peace of mind and feeling like I'm contributing to, or not contributing to, massive food waste.
Just Good employs about 24 people with developmental disabilities. People like Trevor paid minimum wage to make the buckets look like new each week. Are you tired at the end of the shift when you're all done?
No.
No, you're ready to do more?
Yes.
You get one bucket?
Great job they do. They're spotless. These buckets are spotless. Wow. Each community has pockets of vulnerable people. So for example, developmentally disabled, but also new immigrants, people just getting out of jail. There's all sorts of people entering the workforce this could work perfectly for. It's a real adventure. And starting a business, especially, I almost feel like I'm not starting the business. I kind of feel like the business is just gone by itself. It was like I put a spark and the fire just took off. And it's been a really cool ride.
This month, Just Good Compost found new fertile ground nearby. The business expanded to Carleton Place, where the town is subsidizing 1/3 of the cost for new subscribers. Why couldn't this be scaled up, this model deployed in every small town across Ontario?
It could. Again, I feel like I'm just a spark. There was something that was here already that people just, it's fantastic.
Stu Mills, CBC News, Almonte.